guys, welcome to Alpha Media Podcast, episode number 15. We are joined today by Julia, an owner of Pinapple Crown Agency. She's here with us, discussing all things, how she started, where she's at now, and what she's sort of planning to do in the future. So, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you, guys. I'm very happy to be here.
That's good to hear. Good. Right. So, straight with the first question, if you don't mind, so tell us a little bit about yourself and life growing up.
Well, actually, when you sent me before, the list of questions, and I saw this question, I was like, what shall I start from? What is it exactly that might interest people, and how can it be connected with their businesses and what they do now? And I actually thought about myself always as an outsider in every, group of people. I always felt like I have different way of thinking totally. And what I found myself doing almost all the time, I used to tell stories to my stuffed animals. And now I can connect it to what I'm doing in my business mostly is organic marketing. And now I help people sell their digital products through storytelling, So I think it's kind of symbolic in a way. And I've always been interested in digital product launches and courses and all this kind of thing. So this is basically what my agency is doing now, helping people with organic marketing. Coming back again about my childhood, I grew up, my family wasn't really business oriented, they had all this typical type of 9-to-5 jobs. And they always wanted to try something, but they never had maybe courage or chance, or maybe they were in the wrong environment. So they never let each other and themselves as well to start something on their own. So I always dreamt about having my own business, and I always played with my dolls when I was a kid and imagining having a business. And I always wanted to be free, I never thought about that it will be possible in the future world when I grew up, because everything changed, in 30, 20 years. And now finally it makes total sense. I'm doing what I love. I have the freedom of traveling. I'm leading a kind of digital nomad style of life. And I think all of it kind of fell to places.
That's good. Awesome. I was actually just going to ask you before we go to another question. Your recent trip, because you went to Athens, haven't you?
Yeah.
Was that based, obviously, did you sort of went on a sort of a work trip, was that, or?
Yes, correct. Well, basically, I'm doing a lot of work for business industry, for different kinds of businesses. And mostly now I'm focused on permanent makeup. This is kind of a long way we have with my colleague. When I started to be a social media manager kind of thing, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I was just helping her grow account. And then when I got myself into the world of digital product launches, we decided to take it into completely new level. So basically we started with launching courses for English speakers and Russian speakers here in Cyprus and abroad as well. And we did kind of like a hybrid launch, which is online and offline. So basically the students could have an introduction into permanent makeup world. Permanent makeup, it's like a tattoo. Maybe it's instead of just talking about it, I can show my brows, my eyeliner. I don't draw it. It's on my face. And it's cool because, I live in Cyprus and, very often I go to the beach and I go to water, I get out, everything stays the same on the face and it's perfect. So we work with people from Mediterranean countries, Malta, Cyprus and Greece. That's why we went there. It was like a championship. And now we want to push for selling an online course, which will help masters around Mediterranean and the world to sell their to understand coloristics. But before we were selling online and offline approach, they would prepare online and then they come and they try to do their work on models, kind of practice. So after that, they will have a full readiness to go into the world and do the services for other people. So yeah, and we went to, like make connections and do some kind of content, and also have the videos and pictures. So it was really good. I met a lot of people, and I realized that regardless of which countries they are from, we all have the same problems when we want to expand our online and offline businesses, especially when it comes to social media and developing their personal brand.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. So obviously, we did say you have an own agency called Pinapple Crown, right? Can you just tell us sort of more about it? What is it about? What you do? How you started it? What sort of made you decide to, I want to create something like that?
Yeah, of course, I will be happy to. Actually, I've had this idea of starting my own agency for quite a while, but I never had, a plan or maybe a courage to do so, because like when I work on my own and I help other experts launch their courses, it's kind of, it's different. You have a team of people that you can, like contact, and you can hire and do one project with them, and then you can just go different directions. But then like when you have an agency, you kind of have the same people working with you, and maybe that was scaring me at the beginning. Like, can I rely on them? Can I rely on myself when I work with them? So I think it has a lot of this controlling kind of part, but I decided to put it all together and just have it. And I started it 2 months and a half, I think, something like this. Yeah. And regarding the name, like I really didn't know in the beginning how to call it. But then I was thinking, okay, what can I choose? Like, what kind of area shall it be? Like the name of a product? Shall it be the name of some kind of subject? And then I thought maybe it can be a fruit or something like this. It's actually funny, because at the same time, I never told anything like this to anybody, so you're going to be the first to hear. But at the same moment I was thinking about it, brainstorming with ideas, I looked at I looked at my husband in the living room, and he was looking at his hair, and he's like, "Oh my God, I have to have my haircut. I look like a freaking pineapple." I'm like, "That's actually good. Let me research it." And I went to research it, and I realized that I have very much interest in this fruit, because if you I know it sounds strange, but just give me a chance to explain. Anyway, in the language where this in general this pineapple just came from, I think it was somewhere in Latin America, but if you translate it from that language, it means excellent fruit. So it is very symbolic for me, because my agency is also, what we do has kind of, I would say, like excellent quality, but it's true, the websites, everything we do, the logos, we put our heart and soul into every project, and we try to connect with every client and every expert we have, especially when it comes to organic marketing, because if you truly understand the person, if you see the way they think, and you have this amazing relationship within this project, then it's really easier to bring it to a certain excellent level. So this is one part of the story. Another part of the story is that I was researching pineapple. I think I read somebody's like PhD work or something like that about pineapples. Yes, I went that deep. And it turned out that you can do a lot of stuff with pineapple. You can basically, not only just you can eat it, you can do other stuff with it. But the most important part of pineapple is not pineapple, it's pineapple crown. So crown is also the sign of excellency, of course. But if you decide to plant it separately from pineapple, it's going to create a little pineapple of its own, You can also like do some kind of tea with this and all this kind of stuff. I have like a huge post and all about it. And if your audience are interested in researching pineapple crown kind of stuff, they can go to my page and read all about it. But it's really cool, and I really like as soon as I thought about it, as soon as like it came into my mind, like pineapple crown. Okay, that's it. Sure, because it's funny, it's interesting, it's out of the box, and everybody keeps asking me about it. So I think it's also a good icebreaker in any conversation.
Awesome. Figure out what you think on that.
We're gonna have to rethink ours.
That's a lot of agents.
Can you tell us about sort of if there was like a defining moment where you transitioned onto and wanted to move on to online rather than what you were doing before?
Yeah, it was very interesting experience for me. Well, first of all, I came to Cyprus 6 years ago already, and I started working in a marketing company, and it was really fascinating for me at the beginning. I grew fast. In maybe half a year, I became a marketing manager in my department, and there was a lot of creative stuff to do. But at some point, when you work in a company, if you have entrepreneurial mindset, this is something that I really didn't discover about myself back then, but then it again fell into places. It's hard for you because any job that you might do, at some point it turns into a monkey see, monkey do kind of thing, like you have your stuff in your department, you have the things that you have to make sure others do, you have your lunch break, you go home at 6, and then you wake up in the morning, then you start all over again. This is something that like made me really insane back then, and I couldn't find myself anymore in this schedule because I wanted to try more, I wanted to do more, and I would bring more ideas in my company, and they would be like, okay, slow down, not everything at the same time, some stuff we cannot do. And I'm like, why? Why is the key thing that drives me throughout my life and helps me choose the projects, people to work with, because I'm very curious, and I also appreciate this quality in every employee, in my partners, because if you have this why approach, it's really more engaging when you want to grow and experience all these kind of things in different social media platforms and so on and so forth. So when I left my office, I was so annoyed, with all this kind of thing that was going on all the time, the same thing every day. I decided to try something different and open my offline business and do permanent makeup. That's how I decided to just get distracted, from all these kind of things. And as soon as I started my business in permanent makeup, guess what happened? Corona, So that's it. I was devastated. I was really sad, and I had my own studio, and I already started having clients. And at the same very moment, while I was crying that nobody could do the brows and lips, and I had my machine, and I was sitting, in the darkness with the tears. Anyway, dark times. People were just trying to reach me, call me and say, Julia, can you please help me with my Instagram? Can you help my social media? And I think for everybody who can be puzzled in a certain stage of their lives, they can just listen to what others ask from them. If you really don't know what you're good at, and you're kind of good at this thing and the other thing, see what other people ask from you, because this helped me realize which direction to choose. Because I just, at the blink of an eye, I turned from a person who lost her offline business to a person who had 6 or 7 clients back then in 1 month, because everybody wanted me to manage their Instagrams. So I was like, okay, let's try to give it a go, So I did. And then I found out about digital product launches and all this world of Jeff Walker, if you know this entrepreneur. Yes, so this is kind of the system that I'm using when I help people to launch their courses and products. And then I realized that people that I helped before, they also want different kind of services, They go okay, you helped us launch the course, all right. Can you do the website? Can you create funnel for me? Can you do this? Can you do that? And all of a sudden I realized that I can create an ecosystem, a symbiosis of different people who are digital nomads, who are looking for work, who are looking for projects, and they can also bring their why approach into the business and help me do those projects, help me grow and help other people expand their business. So this is what I'm doing now. And I really appreciate the way it turned out for me, because if I didn't have those losses, if I didn't have those emotions back then when I lost my business, when I left my job at the office, then I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. And it totally brings me joy. It's not easy, but I think it's worth a shot if you have any idea about marketing, if you want to try to do this. So yeah, definitely.
I think what's amazing there, what you said, is that through COVID times, just the different mindsets of people, how some people found a different way and shifted, and then others kind of just gave up and shut down businesses and just, it's just, I find that fascinating.
Yeah. Also, we're going to add to that. I like how obviously you said at the beginning you used to obviously work in the office, so you technically were working for someone else's dream, weren't you? And then you finally sort of like realize, well, actually, I would like to sort of start something of my own and actually work for my own dream. And it is hard. Obviously, you've had your story. We both had our stories in our previous podcast. Obviously, where we sort of been and where we sort of are now and stuff. We've been through all our struggles, but it's good to see other people like able to withstand all the issues, like break through all the barriers and stuff like that, and actually make something of themselves. It's quite good to see that there's a lot of people out there who actually can do it. If they're just putting their mind to it and actually if they are consistent with where they want to be, then yeah, you're bound to have success, aren't you?
For sure, yeah, I agree with you totally, guys. And when I was sharing my story and I was looking at your reaction, and like I could see in your faces that you totally understand what I'm talking about. And unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to listen to your podcast before, but I will obviously dive into this a little bit more to see, because it feels like you also have quite a story. And I think that, we were talking about mindset, and unfortunately, if you feel like you're stuck, and I think if you don't know where to go, maybe you think when you start in your own business that somebody doesn't support you, the people around you, maybe you just need to change your social circle. Like sometimes people don't don't move on and don't give themselves a chance to try something new because they're not supported by others and they feel stuck. And this is the first chance, this is the first step to kind of alter their mindset a little bit, because if they feel that they are entrepreneurs inside and they are in the wrong place, it's like the first feeling to change the social circle, I think. And if the people totally have the same facial expression around, like, yeah, man, I get you, I understand your struggles, that's the right place to be for sure.
No, I've heard a little saying the other day, actually. If you are friends with 3 millionaires, you're bound to be the fourth one. So yeah, like what you just obviously described, if you just change your social circle with like-minded people, you're bound to be successful as well. They're bound to obviously help you, support you all across, all the way. So no, that's good. Awesome.
For sure, absolutely. I totally agree with you. And I also realized that from my experience, it was painful because certain people just had to go from my life because they wouldn't understand that I require more time. I won't give them equal amount of attention like it was before. But then I had other people, new people that understand me and who support me. And I try to give them the same support back because I know that it can be challenging very often. So I think you know it too from your experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So in terms of the social media aspects, right? So what social media tips or advice would you give to people sort of starting up?
I think it depends what kind of business in social media they want to have, because from here you can decide which direction to take and which style of marketing to apply. Because there are different types of people. Let's just go briefly through it. The way I see it from my experience, like I really like the approach to organic marketing and hybrid marketing, which I say it's the social media stuff, all the content stuff, like you do stories and posting and all these kind of things, and targeting ads. So you can combine two of those approaches so you don't burn out and you don't spend too much time. Some people prefer do it only organically and they like to shine, they like to post stories, they like to talk to their audience, and it's amazing, But at the same time, people who are a little bit more introverted, it's going to burn them out, they're going to lose the purpose and probably give up before they reach their financial goal. So I think it depends if you just sit down before you start and like, okay, what kind of life I lead? Do I have a lot of kids? Do I have a lot of work? Do I have some other stuff that I have to do? Like how much time do I have per day that I can spend on social media? And be honest with yourself. And then once you answer this question, okay, I have a lot of kids, like, 3-4 kids, for example, if you're a stay-at-home mom, right? And you do a lot of stuff and you bring them to school and you probably don't have enough time to post all the stories, but you have some kind of skill that you can share with your world, with your audience. Maybe you can just, use the hybrid marketing a little bit, and maybe just like cold marketing, targeted, to create like a landing page, to put the product there, to try to experiment, to create a funnel. So it will create a passive income for you, and you don't need to do like all the stuff and the stories all the time. Now, if you're prepared to be more out there, like influencer, if you want to create reels, if you want to make different kinds of video content, and if you're ready to spend some time there, then maybe organic marketing and other stuff to try all together. And this is important why I say to choose only one thing at the beginning, because it can become overwhelming if you don't have anything online and you just jump into it and you're like, whoa, Clubhouse, Facebook, LinkedIn, this, that, it's going to drive you nuts. So I think it's better to just start on 2 platforms maximum to see what helps you feel better, what you think is going to work out for you, because I know experts who launch their courses and sell their products through Clubhouse, and they love it. They just go use their voice and like grow their community there, or they're experts who prefer to film videos on YouTube, and they're also fine with it, and those who hate Instagram and love Facebook was the other way around. So just to answer those questions honestly, and then try, because you might be like, keen on choosing like one approach, and then you're like, actually, this is not bad. Let's try this. This feels good. I will try this one, and then it's gonna work out. And the most important thing is just, in my opinion, to start and give yourself some time, some taste of it, like 2-3 months, not to give up. See how it goes, and constantly experiment with different approaches, and ask opinions of those who already had this path, who is already at that point B for you. So yeah, that was a big advice for those who just start. But yeah, they can just listen it again, right?
And now, quick break for adverts. Right, what's going on, guys? Dave here from Alpha Media Team. If you are thinking about starting a podcast, but you do not know where to begin or where to start, why not try and give Riverside FM a go? It's a great new tool for the fraction of the price that allows you to create great podcasts with editing capabilities of very expensive programs. So why not click the link in the bio and start your journey on becoming and having the best podcast on the internet.
I'd take this opportunity to talk about what we're about here at Alpha Media. We inspire others to start an online business, give them the blueprints, show them the way to start making their first commission online, escape the 9 to 5. We should have a link listed somewhere, either around or beneath this video in the description. If you click on that link, you'll go through to a web page. On that web page there'll be a video with myself or Dave talking through what those sort of next steps look like and through that process. Apart from that, thank you for taking the time to watch our content and enjoy the rest of the podcast.
Canva is a graphic design tool that works to simplify the process of digital design. Canva allows for image editing and project-based learning using a simple drag-and-drop interface that works well even for younger students. From brainstorming as a group working collaboratively to individual project creations, it has lots of potential uses in the classroom. If you would like to try your skills at Canva, please click the link in the description.
I think you've covered off that perfectly, because we've definitely been in that place where when we first started, we tried to be everywhere all at once and just tried it, and we quickly found that out, that you do just get overwhelmed and it's just too much just trying to be everywhere.
It's best to focus on one thing and do it properly, do it really well, and then sort of move on when you sort of master that first one and then go to the next one. You can't just hit them all at the same time, because, you're bound to fail 100%.
For sure. So what is your main focus for now?
Ours is YouTube and videos and short content videos off the back of that.
We also obviously do the TikTok of that. So obviously when we do the longer videos, we tend to then obviously break them down into smaller ones, use it for TikTok content and stuff, obviously engage with the users on that platform as well. So just try to recycle the content, on different platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a huge fan of recycling because it saves so much time. And very often people think that, oh my God, I have to do it all over again and again, and nothing can be reused. But it's so not true. In your case, I think you can reuse your content like a lot on different platforms. And even in the future, like to come back to the videos you already made and use them again for something, or even turn it into something else for different platforms. Because who knows, maybe tomorrow we're going to have a new Instagram or something. We never know, right?
So you spoke a bit around your agency and your brand. Could you sort of give us a taste of sort of where you'd sort of see your brand in the future? What sort of plans you got for sort of the next 5 years? Or
Well, definitely I want to do more podcasts like this, yeah? Just dropping a hint there for you to invite me again. Haha. Anyway, one thing for sure. Yeah, I definitely enjoy it. Being interviews always brings me to a different level of understanding what is it I'm doing, because I'm speaking it out, I'm sharing it, so it's cool. Well, I want to spend more time creating video content, that's for sure. I'm a huge fan of it. I think nothing displays more of your personality and attitude and goals and video content. And I think it's an amazing opportunity this century gave us because we can see the person right there and talk to them, although they're in different countries, in different parts of the world. Also, I want to create a more powerful brand. I want everybody to know about my Pinapple Crown. I want people to be interested more in working and exploring their brand in different directions. It doesn't matter if it's product-based brand or if it's their personality brand. We love to help them as much as we can to bring their talent into new level, to help them grow their community, to expand as much as possible, and of course to increase sales and create passive income for those who work online, who really want to live the lifestyle that they were dreaming about, so that's what it's all about. Because, I noticed that a lot of entrepreneurs, I ask them question, why do you do this, what you're doing? Why do you want to launch this product? Why do you want to create this offer? And they're like, oh, because I want to help my community. Okay, yeah, I get it. But what about you? What do you want? Do you want to travel around the world? Do you want to have a dream house? Do you want to have a future for your kids, pay for their college? Be honest, And once we are honest about this goal, once we share this with our audience, I think they're more reluctant to follow us, to see our path, our hero path, to see where it goes and why they can be inspired with us, with our story, and whether we are relatable or not, So this is what I want. I want to help people understand it, and I want them to be able to build their brand, everything that they love doing, and bring it to the minds of people around, so it becomes recognizable, appreciated, and like a typical woman, I forgot the third part, but 2 is enough, right? We're just gonna cut it.
So, in terms of obviously finding you online, Julia, and your agency, can you just tell obviously our listeners and our viewers where can people go and find you? And obviously, just another thing to that is, do you think online business will grow in the next sort of 5 years? So what is your sort of stance on that? Do you think that everything online, all the businesses will grow, or do you think that will all sort of just disappear from the face of the earth?
Well, all right, let me say first about online businesses and what I think about it. I think that the market for online education is constantly growing. I think it's going to change the way it is now. I think it's going to shape into something completely different, because the old classic marketing, it will work forever. People always look for people who inspire them. They want to buy stuff. People want to sell stuff. So it's inevitable. But the way entrepreneurs will need to impact the consciousness of their buyers will be different for sure. Because if we see the same stuff all over, we just stop believing it. And it goes okay, let's give it an example. A Facebook, cold messages. When you have a very typical first message, that is oh, how you doing? How your business go? And you're oh my God, you're going to start selling me again. We just don't answer, right? Very, very often. So for sure, it will change its ways in a different way, into something more genuine, something more honest. So it will be more warm and kind of tailored to the people's needs, for sure. And it will be less of annoyance, I would say. I believe so. I really believe so, that will change this way. And I think that it's going to grow to a huge scale. There are some predictions. I'm not good at numbers, but I've read an article, many articles actually, that say that the numbers will grow for sure. Because, people, okay, we like to feel that Corona is going away, but maybe not. We don't know, but people are already afraid. And we saw this pandemic world. We saw what it is like to be at home. And first we were shocked, but then we liked it. We're like, yeah, I'm going to have my favorite course. Let's do it. Yes, I'm going to send my online products, right? And then we started doing all those podcasts and Zoom and what's not. And people felt that taste of being at home and doing what they want and having their flexible hours. So for sure, 100% is going to grow. And there will be new systems, there will be new social media kind of stuff. Maybe old things might go, like MySpace and ICQ and all of this kind of thing. This I cannot know for sure, but definitely. And I want to stay in this industry because I see a huge opportunity for the world to change in terms of like education in general, because the old system starts failing. People already start thinking, oh my God, do I need that bachelor degree? Do I need to get myself into endless loans? Are there going to be any loans? Are there going to be banks or cryptos? And so on and so forth. So definitely. And I really like to think that it's going to make the world a better place at a certain point. And coming to talk about my links, how to find me, just change this to what you asked before. Well, I have Facebook, I have LinkedIn, and I will send these links to you guys so we can share it somehow. And my website is, my Pinapple Crown website is being harvested somewhere in Brazilian fields, I guess. It's under construction, but it's going to be ready soon. Yeah, I want to put I want to make it excellent. I want it to be displaying the face of the company and have all the information that speaks about my brand, more than any words or any Zoom calls. So, yeah.
Right, guys. It's been a pleasure. Julia, thank you very much for joining our podcast. It's been absolutely amazing, obviously listening to great stories and, finding out about your business. So it's been a great pleasure. So thank you from myself.
Thank you guys for inviting me. I really had a lot of pleasure talking to both of you, and thank you for your very interesting questions. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. No, thank you for coming on. And just for the viewers watching, if you feel inspired by this podcast and you've always wanted to start an online business but don't know where to start, then please check out our links at the bottom of the description of our video. And check out Julia's socials as well and stuff. And yeah, thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure once again. All the links will be in the description, guys. Check Julia out, check her agency. Again, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, Julia, and see you next week, guys. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.